Second Cup is brought to you by Roswell Park Comprehensive Care Center.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. It's 8 o'clock on the start of a Friday. Welcome to Second Cup. So glad you're with us to start the day.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday is right.
It's been a long week.
Hasn't it? Are you ready for the weekend?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Who isn't?
I'm going to get some sleep. I told my husband I want to be in bed by 9 o'clock.
And what
Friday
did he
night.
say?
Okay. He's probably like, put the baby to bed and go to sleep. That darling little sweetheart woke up last night at 12:30.
Yikes. That is early.
Mama's tired.
Any weekend plans otherwise?
I don't really know what we're going to do.
Okay.
I said I want to go do something. We talked about maybe going out tomorrow afternoon or something, and I might try to catch up with Autumn at some point. Too.
Oh, that's nice.
My
That's good.
girlfriend, Autumn.
Love to hear what your weekend plans are. There's so much going on in the city of Buffalo and
What are you
beyond.
doing?
Well, my aunt is in town, so we might hang out with her tomorrow. I think actually we are hanging out with her. We're
That's
gonna have
nice.
dinner. Yeah. And really,
Your mom's sister?
Yeah.
From Florida?
Mm-hmm. I'm not really sure what else. We were actually talking about trying to figure out what we were going to do tonight, and I honestly, I'm on the same page with you.
Yeah, I could use like a nice night of sleep, and then I'll refresh for Saturday morning
Yeah.
at 6 a.m.
Well, we got 7 things for you to do here in Western New York. Johnny with a body just linked you in the comments. And, you know, the last days of Canal Fest are this weekend.
Yup.
Um,
There's a bunch of things happening this weekend.
yeah, hanging out with family, Barbara says, putting the boat in the slip. Love that for you, Maureen. That's great. If you're looking to get that boat bottom wet, this is going to be a great weekend for it. It's Goldilocks weather right now.
Thank you, Joshy Washy, as
You're
you called him
welcome.
on air today. Joshy Washy. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I went to the Josh Nichols School of Rhyming. It's in Springville, which is the ancestral home of the Nichols family.
I'm sorry. Josh has catchphrases, but they get me through the day. They get me through the day because I'm like, oh, he's right. It's icky and sticky today. Or I'll be like, ooh, the muggy meter has dropped as I walk outside.
Speaking of the weather, let's show you what that forecast. Oh, do we not have it in here? We don't have it. Okay, I take it back. Well, it's a beautiful start to the day.
Today looks like it's going to be like, I believe Josh called it refreshing.
Yeah, love that.
Like it's nice when you stepped out overnight where you're like, whoo.
Yeah,
Because we're used to like, oh, sticky.
Yes.
But when you step out today, I was like, woo.
Kelly's going to Canal Fest tonight and spending time with my Navy boy. Love that. You know, can I also tell you this? When I walked outside this morning, it smelled like skunk. And I was a little nervous because the last thing I want to do is come face to face with a skunk. And so I ran to my car and threw my stuff in and just quickly sat down and shut the door because I didn't want to
stink.
Yeah, I didn't want to get sprayed.
Ugh, that'd be awful because you'd be like, I'll still come to work even though I got sprayed by a skunk, and then I'll be sitting next to you and you'd be stinking.
Yeah,
I know you.
It's true. I probably would come to work still. Peter says,
Oh, you would, and we'd be like, get out of here.
going to a gathering tomorrow. If anyone is going to see Shania tomorrow, have fun. Yeah.
Is that really tomorrow? I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
at Darien Lake. Mark says Vets Ride, all proceeds go to Honor Flight. And Mark actually emailed me
Nice, love that.
yesterday talking about all of the different events that are happening this week as well. The Vets Ride is Saturday. It starts on Saturday and at 8 a.m. starting at the Naval and Servicemen's Park. About 50 or so riders, he said, will be doing that ride. But they're going to the Veterans Memorial up to City of Tonawanda. And the Sky
Nice.
Ride is Sunday, which is very
Oh,
exciting.
Skyride is fun. I love the pictures that come out of it. Paula says they're painting their daughter's new house, helping them move tomorrow.
Ooh,
Linda, I'm doing nothing.
good for you, Linda. Oh, Katie, family reunion tomorrow. We have one on Sunday.
You have a family reunion coming up?
Yes, but not my family.
Ray Russ's family.
Yeah, because my family is like 5 people. His is like
Is your mom
55.
coming and your aunt, though, to the family
No.
reunion? No, they're just going to
No,
do
no.
their own thing.
Yeah.
She's staying with your mom? That would be so fun.
Yeah,
Is
so
it so cute to see? Is
the
she
two
like your mom?
sisters-
Does she look like your mom?
Yeah, they're like twins. It's
Oh my
so funny.
God, take a picture. I want to see it.
Ma, send me a picture if you're watching. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. I don't know.
We just chatted with her on the phone anyway, so.
Connie says when you smell that, it's usually because one got hit. It smells forever about skunks.
Oh, like when I got hit by a car.
Ooh, when I was driving to work the other morning, I came face to face with a massive possum. A possum. This girl was big. I don't know if it was a girl. This boy was big.
I was backing out of my driveway, and there's a little rabbit just sitting in my driveway. And I'm like, oh, come on.
I always feel lucky when I see one.
Come on.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know how they can look at your, I'm like, ooh,
Get out of here, little
come
bunny.
on. Come on. It took far too long for this. I have a feeling it may no longer be with us because it had zero,
Oh.
well, it had no common sense. I'm like, come on, little buddy, let's go.
Hop to it.
Let's go. I'm out the window like, come on, go.
Shirley says will be a beautiful weekend. Absolutely. Okay, let's dig into the news here today because I think that this is really interesting and want to get your thoughts on this as we kind of head into what will be a very interesting election cycle come 2026 because I think a lot of you are very aware of state policies that have created some
Changes.
yeah, and unintended consequences in our community when it comes to bail reform.
And even the people who supported the changes say, many say, yes, they've had unintended consequences.
Right.
Perfect way to describe it because now we've got these rules that are being followed. And unfortunately, it's led to some issues. And the conversation's starting again with this latest incident of what happened and could it have been prevented should things have been different.
So here's the deal. There was this guy who was arrested yesterday. His name is Ricky Crouch. He's 49 years old, and he's got quite a history. He was in jail and in prison. He was convicted of murder almost 30 years ago, but is now accused of shooting and killing 44-year-old Amanda Thompson.
Which is horribly sad.
awful.
And, your heart breaks for this person's family, coworkers, people, and so as you take a closer look at what's happened, and again, this just recently happened, but now people are kind of digging in and taking a look.
Well, so this guy, I mean, he served prison time, so he did his time.
And this is old video.
Right.
From
96.
all those years ago.
And I've been wondering about the Wegmans bags. Like, where did this come from? Why is that a thing? I don't know. But regardless, he did his time. He was paroled in 2023. And after he was put out on parole, he was arrested twice again in May.
Can you pause that there, John? I don't know if it's going to stop at all. So that was what had just happened. Okay, so 2023, like Ed was saying, he's out.
Right.
This is this past May 19th, burglary at this person's home who he ended up, according to police, killing.
Right.
Loaded gun allegedly recovered, released from custody. That's May 19th. May 20th, you see violated order of protection, released on bond. And the DA's office had requested that he be held. That apparently didn't happen.
Right. So just put that into perspective. So here, like there's a cycle, there's a pattern here of sorts, in terms of accusations and allegations. On May 19th, he was accused of burglary at the woman the house where the woman lived that he's accused of killing.
We're talking, this is like a month ago.
Right. Then the day after, he went back there, according to police, and violated an order of protection. So there's something going on here, is what police are saying.
Well, and apparently they called it a domestic relationship. They have some sort of relationship here.
Right. And a month later, he's accused of killing that woman.
I know.
And so the DA wanted him held. The judge said, no, we're going to release him on $50,000 bond, which he provided to the courts.
Right. So
and they let him out.
Right. But what power, I guess, and I think we'll be looking into this today because off the top of my head, I don't know what power the judge would have to hold him. What power, the DA says, can you do this? Maybe thinking this $50,000 would do it. It did it,
Right. And realistically, he was given bail. So it's not like they just gave him a ticket and said, okay, you can go, sir.
Right. So they did take him into, I guess take him into custody. He posted
Right.
and was able to get out.
So what do you think about bail reform? And, I wonder, is this a bail reform issue or is this?
That's what I think we need to figure out today.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what did the judge, whoever the judge was, feel his or her hands were tied because of certain
The state
parameters they have to
laws.
follow? Right, because of state laws? Or was it more of a, we thought we did the, Monday morning quarterbacking thing? I don't know. So,
Well, and then here's my other, and I don't want to be dramatic here, and I certainly don't want to stoke the fire, but, the DA asked for him to be held.
right. So you would think that would be a possibility.
And I wonder if, in fact, this is I don't know. If in fact this is a judge who had their hands tied because of state laws, does the state have blood on its hands? Do you know?
Right, because, but in my mind too, I'm thinking if the DA had asked for this to happen, but maybe what the DA meant was that higher bond. You know what I mean? And what, I don't know. I mean, those are the questions that have to be answered today.
Do you understand why I'm
do.
asking that question though? Because, you know,
Right. If the judge didn't have the ability to do
exactly
what the DA was asking, yeah. Lori says it's time for a change, that our elected officials are not protecting us. Anita said he did his time are the worst words ever after he reoffended. Noreen says that it's crazy, and she said it doesn't make sense.
Cindy says he isn't deserving of jail, prison. Paula says, let's protect the convict and not the mother, sister, daughter, neighbor. And then, you know, Katie kind of saying, sorry, should have been back in jail after that, talking about the burglary, I believe, and the other arrest.
Cindy says he needs to be
violation of-
incarcerated. Danger to society.
Right. You know, it's so sad because this woman is dead.
I know.
And when you think about all of the things that led up to this moment, you know, and all of the allegations that are associated with this one case, you question and wonder, are we doing more harm than good?
So we heard acting Mayor Chris Scanlon yesterday was saying, basically kind of speaking out against bail reform and said, listen, this is not the first time I've spoken out about it. And
Right.
then today we're going to hear from James Gardner. So he's going to be the Republican who's running in the election for Buffalo Mayor. We know Chris Scanlon is not, Sean Ryan will be, but
Right.
he'll be the Democrat. Okay. So, but the Republican candidate now is speaking out about bail reform. So that's why I think, you know, we're going to dig into all this today and see what exactly could have happened. I think is the best way to put it, because you have to figure out like the answers to all those questions that we have. And unfortunately overnight, it's really, you know.
Well, and now, I mean, I was going to call it parole, but it's bail reform has always been a politically divisive issue, but now this case is becoming politically, political.
Well, you know, we had that other case too.
Oh yeah, with the woman in the pickup truck. Was that Cheektowaga?
Was it, I don't know if it
Or
was
Buffalo
It was
or
in
Cheektowaga?
Buffalo, I think it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she, from one to the next. And,
Right.
And there were kids involved too.
Right, and she was shot in the pickup truck.
Yeah, I can't
when
remember
she was
if in truck.
driving.
She was driving.
Yeah.
And
God,
that
what was-
put all of this back in perspective too. Like
Right.
we talked about that again. It was another yes, Benefit,
Yes.
thank you. And it was another domestic violence
Right.
situation,
And
which
so
is very, very scary. And there are resources available too. Just we'll throw that out there in case anybody needs them. They're on our website because it's scary and it's something people get
but it's also clear that she was asking for help, right?
if she had that order of protection.
Exactly.
But and so did the other, didn't she? I'm trying to remember, but I thought she did. I know.
Katie just says, plain and simple, something needs to change. And you know, it's interesting because, and I said this morning, bail reform is one thing, but bail itself is another. And, you know,
Yeah.
bail is really set so, you know, if a judge feels, or, you know, back in the day before we, you know, said people will just get a ticket, you know, it was set so that the person who was facing charges would not take off.
Yeah.
You know, bail is set to prevent flight risk and keep people in jail until their trial. But the question became, you know, oh, and by the way, this is Ricky Crouch. This is the guy who was arrested on the 90 yesterday in Hamburg, causing a pretty big delay. But the question became, are we holding people in jail simply because they cannot afford to pay their bail?
So I think that was the concept behind bail reform, because what they were finding was that we had a lot of low-level
Right.
offenders, like,
Minority, low income minority people who are charged with a crime.
and we're talking like, not to like say, oh, one crime is worse or better, although, you know, like we're talking like maybe low-level drug offenders, things like marijuana, things like that. And now, since look at everything that's happened to marijuana since, you know,
Right.
but like things like that, maybe there were some low-level drug offenders who were in there, and they were in there indefinitely because they couldn't make bail to get out.
Right.
And then maybe Anita could comment to this too, because you also have to think about how staffed the jails are. Like, is it if we're create some sort of ability to get some of the lower level people out, let's say that aren't in theory a danger to society or whatever, does that give maybe the corrections officers a little bit of a break because they
Right.
have fewer people?
They're taxed as it is. Yeah. Taxed as in like overworked.
Yes,
Right.
right. I'd like to, Anita, what do you think about that? I guess the other question is too, how do you define? Because I think that's the problem. It's not clearly defined. And now potentially people who maybe should have,
Tony says that's where it stems from. It's minorities not able to post bail due to not having the means to pay for it. And it's not just minority people, right? It's people who simply don't have the money
Yeah.
and are spending time. And frankly, it's costing us money
right.
by keeping them in there.
And it was more based upon low level offenses.
Right.
Right. And now we've got these people who maybe have been in jail for 5 months for, something minor,
Right.
relatively.
Anita says the whole prison system in New York State needs to be redone, as well as this whole bail reform. Also, there are two separate things, and they're both not working. Crystal says loopholes need to be closed. Katie says basically all he had to do was post $5,000 bond. Who was helping him? Where did he get the money from?
Right, because you usually only have to put up like 10% of your bond, right, to get out.
And again, I want to put this into perspective. This poor woman is dead.
I know.
She's a 44-year-old woman.
And had an order of protection, it sounds like.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, in the meantime, a family is grieving. A community is in mourning. If she had, I don't know much about her, but did she have children? And now they're without a mother, potentially.
I know. Well, yeah, so there's a lot of questions I think that we're going to be asking today. And I also think sometimes it can be hard to get specific answers on things, but I think especially with the Republican candidate for mayor speaking up. Now, listen, does this happen on a mayoral level? Not really.
No.
Like this is a state thing that we've talked about. But I think when somebody like that speaks out, you got to hear from all sides.
Oh, yeah. Where does Sean Ryan stand on this? He, is very liberal. And
take it up the chain. Well, how about our state senators?
Exactly.
Do we think things need to change?
well, and then, I think that there was I don't want to speak out of turn, but I can't remember. Did Crystal Peoples-Stokes weigh in here a couple of days ago?
I thought that she did.
Me too. And she said that,
Was
things-
it on this topic, John? I'm trying to remember. Because I definitely read about her, and she was basically saying we need to look at where the problem stems
Right.
from. I'm trying to remember if it was this. I can't remember.
it was a bail reform issue for sure.
Yeah. So
I know what it was. It was the raise the age law with
the cars.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Assemblymember
Yes.
Kluczynski.
So it wasn't exactly this, but something people might connect to it too, because
Right.
there are a lot of appearance tickets being given out, right? So, right, yes, that's what it was. Thank you.
Tony says restraining orders are a piece of paper.
Right.
Barbara says inmates are only in jail for what they got caught doing. The crime that they are in for may not be a threat to society, but you don't know what else they've done. Okay, so Barbara, I just want to dissect what you're saying here because I think we're painting with a broad brush here. People are in jail because they are accused of a crime and they are awaiting trial. They are, there's a difference between jail and prison. And, once they're sentenced, they are sent to prison. They have been convicted. They have been found guilty of the crime that they have committed. On the other hand, somebody is in jail pending a trial. They're being held pending a trial for an allegation. They have not been found guilty. They have not been found to have done whatever it is that they are accused of doing, which is why bail can be set and somebody can be let out of jail. So, I think that we have to be very careful and draw these distinctions.
I think there's a lot of questions that have to be answered today.
Yeah.
And I think that this is going to be, again, because like we saw last time when something happened, like it was a big conversation starter. So I think this is going to be another big conversation starter. And,
And coming to the spotlight now, obviously, because of what Gardner wants to talk about here. Right? So
Yes. So
Anita says people are in jail because of crimes, but there are public defenders and attorneys lobbying them to plead to lesser charges. Gray says don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Well, but and again,
sorry.
he did his time at one point.
Well, for one crime.
Right.
And now he's being accused of many others. So I think this one's going to.
We'll continue talking about
I
it.
really think that, you know what, when stuff like this happens, it's horrible that it happens. You know, you
Correct.
don't want to have something like this have to lead to. Okay, real quick, can we talk about, let's talk about your Siena College
Oh,
survey.
yes.
And then let's talk about back to school shopping, because I think that we're kind of seeing like a tie in this. So it's how and where people are saving money. And we'll talk about what they're spending on too.
I love this because it really gives us a snapshot of what society is like in New York right now. And what I think is really interesting is that so many of us are cutting back, period, right? Everything is more expensive. We know that, the tariffs are having an impact in some capacity, but here's where people are cutting back. Entertainment, going out to dinner, going on vacation.
Concerts, think about stuff like that.
More people are watching their energy use. You're turning off the lights. You're raising the temperature on the thermostat so that your air conditioning doesn't kick on all the time or stay on. And, something that I think is interesting for you, in particular, is that people are using coupons more and more.
So do you use coupons? Let me know if you do. I'm really interested in that, because next week I think what I'm going to do is I was just sending out a couple emails today. I'm going to show people this one coupon app, because we used to just go through, you call them the circulars.
Right.
Don't call it that.
What would you call it?
I don't know. I call it the ads, the inserts.
ads?
I don't
Okay.
know. But you go through those and then you find your coupons there. But a lot of people don't get them anymore.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't get the paper anymore because they're reading it online or doing, So we'll take a look at. I'm looking at this app that I found that offers coupons. I know Wegmans doesn't scan it, but they have their own digital coupons. I've
right.
shared that. But I'm trying to see if Tops takes them or not. Kathy's looking into it for me.
Can we talk about this one in particular, though? I thought this one stat was really alarming, and I think it's really sad, actually, when you think about it. 36% of people, according to this poll, have cut back on medical needs or appointments, including going to the dentist. More than a third of people in this survey, statewide, have cut back on going to the dentist.
That is wild to me.
And nearly half of them are low earners. They're not making a lot of money, $50,000 or less.
So first, I think the number one thing to check there is if you're paying for benefits with your company, check and see what's covered, if it's covered. Even though could be labor intensive to have to reimburse or things like that, don't take what you're getting.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I think that's a really important thing. But there may be a lot of people who don't have that kind of insurance.
Fair.
Maybe they don't have dental insurance.
But what's sad to me, that's sad to me too.
Yeah.
And what's really sad is that people are having to make that decision
Right.
of whether I go to the doctor or pay for food. That's incredibly sad.
Especially because we know preventative measures save in the long run.
Right.
Like if you're going to the dentist in a preventative way and maybe they find a cavity, they're able to quick fill it versus it gets so bad that now you need more
root
extensive work. Right. Mm-hmm.
Gosh, that breaks my heart.
Sarah says, why aren't teeth covered under health insurance? That's the first problem.
Also fair.
Danielle says she can never cut back on the dentist.
And I forget who I was talking to the other day, but and knowing the circumstance that some people are in, I just feel so grateful to,
Yeah.
first of all, be in this role, and second of all, have health insurance that covers that kind of stuff, because I can't imagine.
I mean, you pay for it,
Sure.
but the company pays part too.
Right.
Really quick, I'm going to ask Janelle. Janelle, shoot me a message. Tell me more about the Game Time app. I'm going to look into it now because I'm interested in hearing more about it. Have you ever
Ooh,
used this app?
no.
Game Time? I haven't either.
But isn't that like the last minute tickets?
That's what I think it is. Like, shoot me a message. Tell me what you got from here. I want to learn more.
Barb says, my nephew is a first responder, has to work 2 jobs, plus take care of his dad, who's at home in hospice, 2 homes. I don't know how he's handling it all.
Here's an interesting one. Paula says, my dentist is a low-cost package, but my flex plan won't cover it. It would cover the full bill, but not a discount package. Somebody explain that. Really, somebody explain that. That's so annoying.
Well, and how many technicalities are there, and how many things, even with health insurance, is covered by one but not all, or some but not all.
Do you ever
and-
get the EOB in the mail?
Oh,
And you're
yeah,
like,
the explanation of benefits.
Here comes the, let me just see.
You think it's a bill, and you're like, oh, crap.
Right, and you're like, oh no, it's just an explanation of what I have to pay. Great. I'll just get stressed out when I get the actual bill then. But can I also say, and again, this maybe it comes from me being cheap, frugal, if you will, and my price saving ways. If you see something on one of those that you think is wrong, call.
Yeah.
Because sometimes things are coded wrong. And I've had that happen to me before. I've had it happen where things haven't been coded right. And I'm like, I know that this is covered. Like it is incumbent.
On you, really.
It's sad, right? Because you want to be like, listen, I pay for this so everybody should know. But it's incumbent on you. If you see something, you can save yourself a lot of money because don't just pay a bill because someone says it. If it seems wrong to you, take that action.
Well, and frankly, you can negotiate a bill also.
You can call and talk to them.
Right, Crystal.
A lot of people hesitate. They don't like being on the phone.
Right.
I love being on the phone. No, I actually don't. But when it comes to all this stuff, yes, I get it. It's red tape. You have to go through all these different products. You got to, and
It's annoying.
usually you've got to find the right person.
Exactly.
Because this person can't help you. Could you give me someone who can? Could you give me someone who can? Could you give me someone who can? Here's my number. I'll call back tomorrow. And what's your name? Okay. And make a note of everybody that you talk to. You have to.
It's so funny because first of all, I let my bills just sit there. And I'm like, Russ is like, you're going to get dinged. I'm like, it's medical bills. No, I won't. But eventually I'll pay them.
Okay, so look. Crystal said, I've worked for multiple insurance companies. Mistakes happen. Absolutely. And you could see that. Somebody
Right.
hits 7 instead of 8, Peter said, I've had errors made by healthcare billings. Coders are humans.
This is interesting. Amy says there are no benefits anymore. Benefits that I pay for don't cover 90%. Paying $240 a month and still paying for visits and medications on top of all of that. I try never to go to the doctor.
Even for your in-network people,
Wow.
Amy? Wow.
Well, and I remember how I made sure to have that surgery last year at the very end of the year because I had finally met my deductible. I knew I wouldn't have to, if I had waited until January, I would have had to pay
it all over again.
Right.
Right. Uh-huh. I know. That's and it's crazy that we do think like that, but
You have to.
all right. Linda says, I cut my thumb, needed stitches, got the bill, didn't add up. Instead of paying $500, the bill was $65.
Jeez. Though Janelle says entertainment like concerts is a top priority for our mental health.
Understood.
There used to be a law that if you buy a product at a store,
That's right. You get 100 times. Not anymore, I don't think.
they can't even afford, they can't afford that.
Yes, Jeanette. Girl, I'm with you. Always ask for the name, write it down, ask if they have personal extension after you talk to someone. That's so true. If you finally found the person who's making headway,
Okay, I have a question for
ask
you.
for their name, their number, the best way to reach them again.
Do you write this down on the bill and then put the bill someplace? Where do you put it?
Where do I put the bill?
Yeah, all of this record keeping that you do. Where do you keep it?
I have a big file folder thing.
And where does that go? You actually take the time to file it away and then put it back?
Yes.
And where do you keep that?
Well, I mean, we have no good storage in my house. My husband's probably watching, like, here you go. I'd get her going on the storage. I bought a thing from Amazon. It's like a record, like a file.
Okay, like an
folder thing.
accordion?
Yeah, and I just have it in one of the rooms in our house. Like it's not, it's
I
ugly,
kinda-
but it does the job.
I just leave my stuff all over.
Especially after having the baby.
You've got to be very, very
I have a file
coordinated.
I have a file for taxes, the paperwork that I know I'm going to need for the taxes. Boom, every time I get one, goes right in there. Got a file for all the Logan stuff. Got a file for Paul stuff. All the user manuals, because now I have all the baby stuff. And if I don't know how to use it, and some of it like transitions as you get bigger, user manuals.
You are the Russ. I am Paul.
My dad did that though, so now I'm like taking it from my dad. Like he always he was organized.
I am the MB.
No, she's pretty organized. But she has her own organization system. But you have to keep, yes, especially the maternity leave.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
a great point.
A lot of stuff for that. I got a maternity leave folder.
You are on top of it. Your mom says I fought for over a year with insurance because of wrong coding. You got to.
She did. Let me tell you who I learned it from.
From her?
Yes,
I love
because
it.
especially when she was caring for my grandma, there was a lot of stuff that you had to think about. Doing the ed.
Yep. And there he is.
And there's Paul, who has never looked at the file cabinet. He's walked by it, I'm sure. I'm like,
Sometimes you just wonder, what is that
let me
thing?
tell you what happens,
Where'd it come
actually.
from?
So we'll get something new for the baby. Paul's the one who puts it together. Let me be very clear. He doesn't even need instruction. He knows how to put all this stuff together. And then I take all the things and I throw them out because they're, he just puts it together, leaves everything. And then I take the little thing and I put it in it. We've all got our strengths.
I tend to file things in the garbage.
You know me. I'm so bad at throwing stuff out.
I love it.
I'm like, did you need my dental records from 1994? Yeah. Here they are. They're in my 1994 file folder.
Have a great weekend, everyone.